everybody, welcome back to Rachel and Bella Crafts. Rachel here, I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for joining me today for this first video as part of my first ever 100 days project. Now I don't have a specific theme other than they are going to be easy projects that you can do. They'll be great if you need something to do mojo busting. Or rather mojo building. Don't want to bust our mojos, do we? Build your mojo. Also, they will be nice and simple. They won't be too involved. So at any point in the playlist, you can be able to click back and think, oh, well, that was something I can sit down and fairly simply do once gathering my materials. There may be a few elements that I would like to try and include, but I can't guarantee I'm going to do that all the way. So I won't mention that now. I might mention that at the end. Basically, we're just going to crack on and give it a go. So what you will need for today's project is some envelopes, any kind of envelopes, preferably different shapes and sizes. But if they're not different shapes and sizes, doesn't matter because we can always cut them down, or rather you can always cut them down. But yeah, so you'll want, I've got with me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've got 6 envelopes from my project. And as you can see, they're all, you know, like I say, literally different shapes and sizes, because that's just how I want them to look. I have also got some papers that I'm going to use for covering them, and I've also got here some vintage papers. So I've got a bit of torn, what's this called? Ledger paper. And then I've got a couple of old letters and receipts and things. So that's my kind of like bits of ephemera to go with it. I have got a ruler. A straight edge metal ruler I'm using. I've got my scissors just in case I need them, and I have a new glue stick. And I just because I tidied my room the other day and then I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do with the glue? It was right behind me. Okay, so cracking on, what we're going to be doing today, I'm going to be making a journal topper. So this is going to be an envelope flip flap that you can put together, and then you'll be able to put it on top of a journal at some later point, or build a journal in from the back of it. But this is to be a kind of standalone like file flip folder thing. So you can put it on top of the journal, but you may choose not to. You may choose to just keep it by itself. So it's really easy and straightforward to do. I thankfully have got a nice pile of envelopes to work with because it was my birthday yesterday. Thank you to everybody that wished me happy birthday. I was quite late last night trying to thank everybody, but if I've missed your message, I will get round to it. But thank you so much, very much appreciated. But yes, I thought, why not do a envelope project today, because you have all these envelopes. Now some of them didn't write on my envelopes, some of them did, doesn't matter. I'm going to be covering them up. Raquel, very cheeky. That was my youngest, honestly. Terrible, isn't it? This one isn't one of mine, as you'll notice, because it's got Granny written on it. That must be one of Mum's envelopes. I know it's a bit crushed, but it doesn't matter. And then we've got this one here, and then this one, which is going to go here. So I might actually just move that one down a touch. I do like my envelopes to be kind of when I'm doing this, so you can see the shape there straight away. That was the assembly. Sorry, I should have explained that. The flap goes at the back, and then they open out alternately. Oops. They don't have to open out, but I mean, I like mine to kind of, you know, flip, flap, but you could have them all open one way first and then all open the other way. So you could do them like this if you really wanted to. So they would go that way and then they would go that way. There's nothing wrong with that. It's entirely up to you, the order and the way in which you pop your envelopes on there. But before we assemble this, we're going to cover our envelopes, okay? Hence I wasn't particularly worried with anybody written my names on the front of my envelopes or not. The main thing was nobody sealed them. Haven't we got them well trained, hey? Right, so let's start with the big one at the back. So this is going to be my, once I open everything, this will be the bit that we see on the inside. I'm just going to stick that down because I don't actually have any papers for that to be open. So, come on, new glue, that's the way. Right, so let me just seal that down. Here we are. Okay, and then, marvellous. And then, I'm going to take one of my, now, I'm not overly concerned if they don't fit, if the paper is too long or too short. I have got a choice of papers here to use, and 1 or 2 of them do run the other way, so I might use, I think this one, yeah, I might use that one because that one runs that way, and then I got plenty of space. But the one reason why I personally have used coloured envelopes is because I'm using leftover papers from my spring and the February Valentine kit. So they're like pinks and reds, aren't they? So obviously these colours fit. I then don't have to worry about taking my paper right the way up to the top. If it just, you know, if I leave an edge, then that'll look fine, and I haven't got to go around and ink over it all afterwards. Does that make sense? Okay, so I am going to just now glue around the envelope, and then I will lay the paper down, and I will possibly then just cut around it. Let's have a little look and see if we want to do it that way. Although that being said, I'm probably better off leaving. This is going to be a think as we go along process, my guys, because I haven't done one of these for a little while, and if I say the things I'm thinking out loud, you'll then realise why I do things a certain way. It's great to be able to put on a YouTube video and it will be perfect and go really well, but I often feel you learn more by us making mistakes or having a thought process along the way. That's my story anyway, and I'm sticking to it because it sounds really good, doesn't it? It could just be that I hadn't thought of that. No, what I am just thinking is, if I take this right to the end and the paper is flush with the end of the envelope, when I'm then tucking the other envelope underneath, that's going to keep catching on this. So really, I'm better off putting this just inside of the envelope so that we've got the rounded edges of the envelope then to work with. So I'm going to just quickly measure this now because I've already glued it. Because it was only as I was gluing, I was thinking, you don't want to do it that way. Right, pen will have to do. So this is going to be done very roughly, guys. It's only just to give me an eyeball. Just going to eyeball it. It's not giving you any of these measurements because they're completely irrelevant to you. Your measurements only need to be the same as your envelopes. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to just mark that there so I know where I'm heading. Ugh, definitely should have done that before I measured. And then I'm just going to cut that there and cut that there, tidy that corner there, and then we can stick. Okay, there we go. So that's my bits cut off there. I've just squared up the bottom bit that was a bit thingy. Now hopefully, what I've done as well, I took it just, so where I marked, I took it just inside the mark, and the same with that one there, just inside the mark, because I knew that my marks were the exact size of the envelope. So let's hope now I've got this right. Ooh, and now we look good, we look good. Right, so that's the back piece covered. Now, the next thing we're going to put down now is, this one's next, isn't it? So, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to leave that flap open. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cover them all the way, because if I have openings, I'm probably going to have the top as openings. I've done it before where I've left that as an opening, and it's really not accessible. By the time you open it, especially if you then put it on top of a journal, that's really tricky to get in and out of there. So I always think if you're going to use envelopes for the flip flaps, you're better off covering them over and then cutting a little entry point in the top or in the side. But the inside, it's a bit, I don't know. I mean, you can, obviously, it's entirely up to you. You know, it's your journey, guys. But I just think from the experience, the way I've done it in the past, I've just found it to settle better when I've done it this way, and we've kind of not kept that there, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? I don't know. I think I am. Right, now these big ones are, so what I want to do here now is fit this so that it'll go inside of there. So and that really needs to be really well stuck down there, doesn't it? So let's just turn that over a bit, mark that, and then I can cut it. I don't know why I keep shutting my lovely Laura Ashley pen. And the same there. And I will do the same now as I did prior. I'll just take it down, I'll cut just the inside of that mark there, and the same there, I'll cut just the inside, because I know I want to lose a little bit of space. So there we go. I did as I just said. I cut down and I left. There we are. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want to see, is that bit of gap there around the edge. So let's just get this glued down. This is kind of part of the fun, really, with these is, you know, choosing your bits of paper to go on sticking them into place and just watching the whole thing come to life. But yeah, so as I said, it was my birthday yesterday. I had a nice day. Got my prezzies, went up to Mum's, had a lovely surprise on the kids. They bought me tickets to go and see Wyn Evans in concert next month in Swansea. Wyn Evans. Wyn Evans is, if you live in the UK, you will know there is a car insurance comparison website called Go Compare, and there is an advert on the television, and this guy is dressed up as a faux opera singer, and he sings this really annoying Go Compare in this opera voice. I won't do it on the camera, obviously, because I will probably get a copyright infringement. But yeah, it's like everybody does it. Well, of course, then we all found out about 10 years ago that the guy's actually Welsh. He's from Wales. Well, it turns out he's Wyn Evans. Wyn Evans is now a huge figure here, and he presents on BBC Wales Radio. And I actually met him a couple of times back last summer when I went with my job up to the Royal Welsh Show. I don't know if you remember, I was up there and we had a stand and everything up there, and I went over and spoke to him because he was doing the BBC Radio Wales stand, and I asked him if he would promote, we were doing like an I Spy challenge thing up there for the children, and he read it out on the radio for us, and then he came over after and said hello to us when we were on our stand and wished us all the best. So, but he does sing in concert and he has an amazing voice. Amazing. So I had happened to just mention in passing to my eldest a couple of weeks ago, because I was telling him I was very disappointed I'd missed getting tickets to see Tom Jones. He's in Cardiff in the summer and I wasn't quick enough, and I was like, oh, I really wanted to go, and I said, there's only a few people that I really would like to see in concert. I said, and one of those is Wyn Evans. Well, bless him, you think that they're not listening, don't you? So, of course, he'd gone and gotten me tickets. So I'm very excited when I opened those. Very thoughtful. So he and my mum and dad and the boys had all clubbed in together to get us these tickets. So that's been a huge highlight, and I can't wait. I shall tell you all about it when I've been and I come back, obviously, because I can't tell you about it till then. Right, again, now this one is actually it doesn't matter though, really, would it? But what I don't want is people on there the wrong way round. So. Oh, Rachel, you do insist on designing these pages with these people right at the top and bottom. What about that one there? With one of those cherubs that Shona loves so much. Did you see what she did this week? Oh, she's so funny. She did message me. I hope you don't mind. She'd done a reel with the song Stupid Cupid, and she'd filled in very cleverly the Cupid hearts. I hope you don't mind. I was like, no, you're fine. I don't particularly like them either. They're not really my jam. Oh, that one will be all right. Or should we have the birds? No, let's have the birds. I'm sorry, I can't cut anyone's heads off, love. I need to think about this, don't I, when I make papers? I need to not have so many heads. Right, okay. Not so many heads. Sounds like a head hall of fame. Right, so let's just measure that one. What did I just do with my pen? Oh, here we go. Right. So yeah, went up there, opened my prezzies, and then I took the boys over to Abergavenny then for a couple of hours, and I went in the market over there. We were quite late going out, so didn't see an awful lot. I'm just going to cut this a sec. There we go. But I did get a chance to have a quick look in a couple of the charity shops. I was quite shocked actually, because there's a really lovely craft shop in Abergavenny that Mum always takes me to when we go over there. It's the wool shop, she calls it, but they do have lots of like nice fabrics and stuff in there, but I couldn't find it yesterday. So I said to Dad when I got back, I don't know, I said, is that shop gone? But I'm not sure now if I walked far enough down the road, so I'll have to investigate that when I go over next. I don't go to Abergavenny very often, but it's always a nice visit there. So yeah, I had a quick look in a couple of the charity shops. Not much there really. I wasn't looking to buy stuff anyway. I'm in the middle of clearing up my craft room. I'm mainly looking for things at the moment for storage, you know, like little boxes and things like that. Because I need to get organised what I've got at the minute. So I purposely wasn't looking at the books. I said, close your eyes, don't look. But yeah, that looks rather nice, doesn't it? There we go. that's that one done. So we'll have that one there, like that. Ooh, I like it, I like it. Right, this one now. Cheeky children. Oh, let's try this one, shall we? I think this is the page that, because a lot of you have bought this kit. I was quite shocked actually how well received it was. Because you just never know with a kit, you just never know whether it's going to hit or miss. But it's obviously sparked something in everybody's imagination. But this is the page I've seen most used. It's funny because I was looking at some papers earlier. I was like, oh, I didn't even know that page was in the kit. Because you just make them and then you forget, you move on, don't you? But yeah, so I was looking at some videos, like, I'd forgotten that because all I've seen is this, what is it, hyacinth. It's been everywhere. It's lovely. I'm like, oh, that's my page. Right, I think we'll have a little birdie on there. So let me just measure that a minute. Make sure I don't cut his beak off. Right, so let's pop that there. And then I got home and I'd been asked what cake I wanted for my birthday. And I was like, I'm not really a cake person. I've really got to be in the mood for cake. And I'm definitely really not into birthday cake. Because I find when you buy birthday cake from the shops, I've probably been there a few days and the cake is really dry. Oh, I sound so fussy, don't I? But I just don't like it. It's just, not even with a nice cup of tea, it doesn't appeal to me. So I said, you know what? As I am 42 this year and a big girl now and can speak up, I'm going to speak up and say that I actually really don't want a cake this year. Do you know what I really, really like? I like chocolate gateau, actually. I don't know about where you live, but here where I live, it's kind of a staple. We usually have one at Christmas. They're not very expensive. They're about £3. You buy them frozen in the supermarket and they are lovely. And they're really, really soft and squidgy and squishy. And I just love it. I just love chocolate gateau. And not Black Forest gateau now. Don't confuse yourselves over this. This is the real gateau with chocolate cream, not the cream, not the real cream. Don't be fobbing me off with that. I want chocolate cream. If you're going to have chocolate, you've got to go chocolate, haven't you? So I said I just have some chocolate gateau. So they laughed at me. You can't have chocolate gateau for cake. I said I can have whatever I want. It's my birthday. I thought all these years, you do as you're told. Yeah, and smile and say thank you. And I thought, no, I don't like birthday cake. So I'm finding my voice is quite scary actually because I'm afraid of what I'm going to say next. But I was very pleasant about it. But I just said, look, if you want me to eat cake, buy me something I like, please. So when I got home on yesterday, from having been to town, there on the counter, bless him, he'd been to town on his way home and he'd gone and bought me a chocolate gateau. Oh, I was so pleased. So, and a little chocolate cake for them to eat. So I was like, oh, whatever, you lot can do what you want, but I'm going to have some chocolate gateau. And I did as well. I sat and ate some of it last night. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Of course, it was pancake day here yesterday, but we didn't actually have pancakes yesterday because we sat down and had a bit of cake and I looked at him and I said, oh, should we leave the pancakes for tomorrow now? I said, we're going to be sick otherwise, aren't we? I said, oh yeah, good idea. Yeah, I probably should have done that the other way around, but I don't really think it matters. Or I could always turn them around and do them the other way. Yeah, I might do that actually. I put both birds that way and I don't think it matters actually, does it? No, it doesn't matter, Rachel. You just get fussy now. Right. You'll be all right there. So what should we put on the outside? Let's have a look what else we've got. Let me move my cutter a minute. That thing is so heavy. So then today I've been to visit my middle boy in Swansea in the uni. He was like, Mum, you coming to visit on your birthday? I said, have I got to? It's a long way. He's like, yeah. So, bless him, I went down, drove all the way down this morning. He was in lessons till 1. He said, I'm free after 1. I was like, oh, okay. I think I'm shattered. But we went. So, myself and the youngest jumped in the car and off we went. Did his bit of food shopping on our way down to save him having to, or save me having to take him when I get there. Because the traffic is terrible trying to move around the city. And he came bounding out of his lecture, big grin on his face. Happy birthday. So I was like, okay, thank you. And then got in the car and he's like, right, come on then, I'll tell you where we're going, I'll direct you. He said, I can't tell you, it's a surprise, but I'll direct you. So off I went on this magical mystery tour. It wouldn't tell me where I was going at all. So I was getting a bit nervous because I drive an electric car. Oh my goodness. Little word of advice, Do not buy an electric car or let or lease or loan or anything else unless you live in an area and you travel to areas where you know they have electric charge points. Because I tell you something, in Wales, it is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. My journeys are just full of anxiety. Am I going to get there? Because if I'm not, or if I don't think I'm going to, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You literally, there's this map thing called Zap Map, and it's supposed to tell you where all the electric charge points are. I think twice it's been successful for me in the almost 9 months I've had the blinking car. So honestly, if you would like a real review, I have one. I've had one for 9 months, and I can't hardly go anywhere because this car does allegedly 206 miles. I don't get 206 miles out of it at all. And I'm not a quick driver, but I'm certainly not a quick driver now, because the more quickly you drive, the more it drains down the mileage on there. So I am a little anxious when I drive. And when I go to Swansea, there are 2 ways from where I live to get to Swansea. I can either go on the motorway, so I go down to Newport, get on the M4, which is the motorway, and then follow that all the way to Swansea, which is great, and obviously the most direct and quickest route. But if you drive an electric car, it's counterproductive, because an electric car will kind of recharge itself every time you come, you know, when you drive and you stop start. And we have this thing in the UK, we have lots of them, roundabouts. I don't think you have any of them in the States, do you? But here in Britain, we tend to love roundabouts. They're everywhere, and there's lots of them. But if you drive an electric vehicle, that's fine, because as you brake and slow down with an electric car, it does slightly recharge. So the other way that we go is the Heads the Valleys Road, as it's called. And that's great, because it's roundabout after roundabout after roundabout. Everyone else hates it, but I don't mind going that way because I know I use less mileage. But today I had to go down the other way because I had arranged to pick something up from somebody. I bought something off Marketplace. So I had to go via Cwmbran. Oh, this is bubbling. This is annoying me. Will you settle down, please? This is why it's good when you're doing this to not use fast drying glue. So I went down that way and I went on the motorway. So by the time I got there, I started it on 196 miles. And when I got there to the uni, I had 100 miles. I had 100 miles left. So I knew I'd use 96. Well, of course, then I didn't realise he was going to take me on a drive around Swansea. I thought we were just going down the road into the city, which is like 5 miles in, 5 miles out. And in my mind, I was thinking, yep, I should be okay. No, you drive the car, Mum, I'll tell you where to go. So I'm like, right. So I was getting a little bit nervous. And I was like, right, well, how far is it, love? Oh, it'll be about 15 minutes. And I'm thinking, blinking heck, 15 minutes, I'll be halfway home. Well, you know, where are we going? So I was trying to kind of like stay chilled, because obviously it was doing something that was a surprise, and he thought it out and planned it. I think it's lovely when they do that. They're very thoughtful, my kids. And he wouldn't let me see what he put on the map look. So I was feeling a little frustrated, let's put it that way. But I did keep very cool, and I was like, okay. I said, but you know, the mileage, I have got to get home. He was like, oh, you'll be all right. So anyway, we went, and bless his heart, we pulled up outside, if we did, and I didn't even know there was one in Swansea, a humongous Hobbycraft. And I was like, oh my gosh. He went, Mum, you're going to love it here. He said they got 4 giant charity shops. They've got the pound shop. They've got the one-stop shop. He said, and they got Hobbycraft. I was like, oh, this is amazing. So in we went. And then as I walked through the door, then he handed me, bless him, this lovely little brown envelope with a gift card in there. And he went, off you go. And so they're grinning. So I went and had a little look, and I bought a lovely little, like a little organizer caddy thing to put stuff in. You know, and it's covered with fabric. I will show you it after. And yeah, so I was very, very pleased. So of course then, by the time we got back to the car, my mileage was on like 90 then, I think, at this point. So I was starting to panic a bit then, because I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to find my way back to town now. So we were and ahhing. Right, do we go in now and try and find a charge point? So I had to drive back through the city and one thing and another. And I remembered then there is one in like a little like travel lodge hotel down the road from where the university is. And there's a McDonald's over the way. So I thought, well, they haven't had any dinner yet. So I thought, I'll pull up there, we'll park, I'll put it on charge, we'll run over the road to the McDonald's, they can have something to eat quick, and it'll give the car, you know, half an hour, and it'll be charged. Oh best laid plans, eh? So we go and sit in McDonald's. After running over then in the rain, because of course it always starts to rain just as you get out the car. Well, it does in Wales anyway. And go back to the car. Blinking thing hadn't charged, had it? Hadn't even started. I don't know what had happened. I find these charge things. I'm not tech phobe. I'm pretty, you know, I can read instructions. Most of them have no instructions on a screen. No, it's all done on an app, which I also find frustrating because I very often haven't got a signal. But no, this one, it was all on the screen, and I saw it say, vehicle now charging, card's been accepted, because you have to swipe your bank card, and then it says swipe with debit card to stop. So I just walked away and left it what I thought was charging. Oh, blimmin' one. So I hadn't gained anything from sitting in McDonald's for half an hour, just a full belly, which I didn't really want because I'm not a huge fan. And I was £20 lighter off. So I probably would be better off, I said to my son on the way home, I'd be better off sticking with a petrol car, paying a little bit more in fuel, because I end up spending, when I have to buy a coffee and I'm sitting around with the thing to charge anyway, I don't save any money. So of course then I was panicking coming home then. So we basically, if you don't have much mileage on your vehicle, the only way in which you can do it is to just drive very, very carefully and slowly without accelerating too much. So I had to click it onto this thing that's called brake drive, where basically every time you take your foot off the accelerator, the car naturally starts to brake. And it feels like you jolted a bit. So we had a bit of my youngest and I had a bit of a rock and roll ride home. There was quite a bit of traffic though, which thankfully worked in my favour, because it meant I was just slow rolling backwards then. And I was putting a bit of charge back on. So I rolled up at home with something like 20 miles to spare, I think. And my youngest was just kept looking at the thing all the way home. Hour and a half of just staring at the manometer. He was like, oh, Mum, this is giving me anxiety now. I was like, I know, tell me about it. Kept quickly doing my maths. Thinking if I got enough, But no. So, a lesson learned there. Well, I need to look at this thing, I think, and get this map gridded out, because there's nothing worse. You get down to wherever you're going. I don't know, my mobile phone is useless these days. I just never seem to have any internet access. Perhaps I'm just spending too much time in Wales. We don't have access to anything here. It's like it's like being in the back of beyond. I go to visit my parents and lose the radio halfway over. It's like, really? Come on. It's 2023 when you really need to get on board with the things now. I know we live on the mountain, but oh dear me. I think it's just because we are so close. Probably if I lived in mid-Wales, I'd think nothing of it. But because we live so close to the cities in the south, and we kind of, you know, if we're back in Cardiff or Newport perhaps, you're so used to going down there and having 5G and everything runs really quickly, and, you know, you've always got access to everything. And then, of course, you come back up our way then and it's a bit like, oh, signals are gone again. So then when we drive, well, I drive to Swansea, I expect it to work, because I know it's a city, but it's not like Cardiff, you know. But no, of course it's by the coast, you see, so anywhere you go around here that's near water, you don't have any signal at all. I don't know why that is. I don't know. I always think we live up high and we live on the mountain, and the mountains are in the way, maybe. Is that how it works? But so I expect when I'm down by the sea for the nothing to be in the way and my phone to work. But I've never got a signal down there either. So come the summer, when I have my days down at the beach, you won't hear from me, because I will be out of reach, out of range, as they say. Right, let me use that to cut that a minute. Right, put this one on there. So we're almost done now. I don't know how long this has taken me. I hope not too long. Otherwise I'm going to have to be editing bits out, because I don't want to bore you all silly. And then once we've got these covered, then we can look at then how we're going to close it and add a few little bits of embellishments and stuff. But I just thought this would be a really nice, easy project for us to start on. For my very, very first 100-day project. I've been wanting to do this for ages. And I was thinking about it and I thought 100-day project, right, so what does that mean to me? So I thought I can't do the same thing for 100 days. Oh my gosh, that would kill my mojo. I would be so bored, because I like variety. And I thought, no, this needs to be a bit of a personal journey for me too, but I want to do things that I've wanted to do for ages, kind of thing. And like, use this as an opportunity to do that. So yeah, so I thought, well, hopefully you will find these things interesting too, and will want to come on this journey with me. Oh, isn't she pretty? She's so cute. We're definitely going to have her there. Definitely. So I hope you've been following, speaking of projects and collaborations, I hope you've been following along with the collaboration, because we had Rose on yesterday with her mojo building tips. Oh my goodness, what a video that was. So as I suggested to everybody else that I've spoken to about it, you need to get a pen and paper when you watch that video, because you want to be writing down those tips, because I'm going to go back through it again with a notebook, and I'm going to have them up where I can see them. Because what I do find when you are in a bit of a creative slump and you lose your mojo, you don't have the wherewithal and the thought to go and look for the answers. So I suggest you all save that video in your must watch in an emergency playlist, and if you don't have one, make one, and then you've got it on speed dial basically, because there's nothing worse. The thing is, I don't expect any of you to be low on mojo at the minute, really, if you're following the collaboration, because there's just been so much inspiration. But I mean, some of you may be waiting for inspiration to strike, or as I said the other day, get to that point where you just feel a bit of overwhelm. But yeah, if you've got it there, then when you're ready and you think, right, I need to get my way back into my room or find a way back to my crafting, you can go and pop it on then, can't you? Because it was a great, it would be a great resource for that. A lot of thought and time went into that. And Rose, big hugs and kisses to you, my lovely. She actually had a nasty fall this week in work. She fell. And bumped her eye, bless her. So she's been sporting a bit of a shiner the last couple of days. We were all a bit worried the other day, love her. But I don't know, it was the excitement of her video going up or what. But yeah, she frightened us anyway. So, but she's okay. She's okay, that's the main thing. But yeah, hugs and kisses to her. So yes, if you haven't yet seen the video, go check it out. Now today, you should be watching Lynn from Playing with Paper and Glue. So if you haven't yet seen that, make sure you go and check her out. Lynn, I think it's her first, it might be her second, but I think it's her first video with a collaboration. I'm not sure now, I might have had that wrong. Lynn has got a Facebook group called Playing with Paper and Glue. Go check that out. And like I say, she's also then doing a video for us today. I've actually got my list in front of me here. What is she covering today? Why we use ink. Oh yes, go check that out. That will be fascinating. I haven't yet seen it. As I say, I've been out all day, so I'm going to go and have a little look and sit down and watch that now in a moment. Right, so let's just put the last of this one on here now. And I've cut the last one ready. Okay, so they're all covered now. They just have a minute to dry. So I'm just going to kind of semi-assemble them now. And I just want to double check then what I'm going to do with each of them. And if I need to cut any open, and if so, where. So let's just have a quick look back through now and see what we've got here. I want to make sure I'm happy with the way that my birdies are sitting. So obviously while you're doing this now, assemble your pages. As I said, look for anything that's directional or not, and then check that you're happy with the way in which things line up. So I do quite like mine to you know, have different bits that you can see, because obviously you'll be able to see all of this. What you're looking at, you're seeing it all, aren't you, from the front. And I do like mine to kind of flip flap in and out in order, if that makes sense too. like so. And then that one there in the middle, I think. Yeah, she's such a cutie. And then that one there. Now, I will probably move her up there slightly and bring that one down there slightly. And then when I put my closure on, then my closure will go around that way. And I'm just thinking now, do I want anything cut open so I can put stuff in? I probably will. So I think I might now just quickly snip, and I mean snip, 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 very, very small snip across the top. I've got my reading glasses on, haven't I? Oh gosh, that's worrying when you're saying things like that, isn't it? Am I wearing my reading glasses? Hopefully that'll work, because I've watched Chico do this and she makes it look so easy because she's so careful, and she pops it open and I'm like, oh, how did she do that? Oh look, it works! Thank you, Chi. So we have now got ourselves, that's the only thing you want to watch. Okay, here we are. This is what I'm saying about I'd rather me fluff things up. If you're putting paper across, all the way across, don't glue this bit here, because I'm going to have to prise that open now. Of course I've glued and I needed to leave a bit of a gap, so there we are. Thankfully the glue's not yet dry, but you only want to glue the edge there, all right? If you're going to use it as a pocket, that is. Otherwise you're going to have difficulty there getting it to, there we are, just glue the edge there like that, and that'll be fine. There we go. So we got ourselves a nice deep pocket there, should we want it. Pop a tag in there or something. Just try a second. And I think this one would be ideal to be able to put a nice large journal card in. So let's just try. I've done the same there. Look, that's going to be glued now all the way to there. But never mind. We'll have a look now and see how we can repair the damage. Like I say, if we don't make the mistakes, we don't learn. Better I make the mistake, because none of you will do that now, will you? You'll all make sure when you stick your bits down that you'll think, now Rachel, silly sausage, glued her shut. There we are. Another reason why I love using Oohoo is nothing. It's only semi-permanent. No, it is stick. It's just it's still damp. There we are. That's fine. Just to the edge, so just literally. But that'll be a nice deep pocket in there now. That'll be lovely, actually. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. Let's go mad. Let's do them all. Let's cut that one down. There we are. Same again. Oh no, which one I'll get to, it'll be like, nope, I am glued shut now. Oh yeah, nicky knocky new. Right, I shall have to do a bit of a repair job on that. Gotta be careful, because I'm using really old paper there. It didn't like that, so I've now cut through it. Look. Oh my word. It doesn't matter. I'll think of something. I can repair that. That's not a problem. Mainly is we've got a pocket here now. I'll just put a fake strip over the top. That's fine. So don't forget, look, don't make the same mistake I've made. I'll have to just double layer over the top of that. What do I do with the rest of it? Oh, here it is. I'll put a fake strip over there. That's fine. I'll find a way to repair it. It's no problem. We'll patch it up. That's fine. You know, a bit of lace over it. It's not a problem. I'm not worried. This one then. Let's cut across the top of here. And of course, it doesn't matter if you only want to cut half of it. If it is glued all the way down, don't worry. Even if you've got space just to put a long tag in. So this one, for example, that one's not too bad actually. But the thing is, I might not want something all the way down there, so perhaps I'll just go to there anyway and then leave the rest of it closed. So I won't take any more off that there now, because I don't want to. That's going to be dry now, because I think that one was there. And then we'll do the same here, because it would be a shame not to, wouldn't it? After doing the others. And perhaps I'll do the same here. I'll just go so far, and then hopefully that should give us a nice deep pocket, and I can put a nice long, like a masterboard tag or something in there then. Right, good. Let's put this baby together. Yes. Glue. Okay. Let's glue there. Let's glue there, because I am not licking those envelopes. Anybody else here hate licking envelopes? I really cannot bring myself to lick an envelope. I always tuck an envelope in. I just can't can't abide it. When I see people doing it, I'm like, oh, it goes through me. Yucca-vee. Not nice. It's just so, ugh. They just taste horrible. I mean, I know you're not meant to enjoy the taste of glue, but even so, they just, ugh. Just not nice. No, I am definitely not an envelope licker. All right, let's have a look. Let's put that down there. I think I thought for that one, didn't I? Yeah, put that one on the top. Find out in a minute. That one there. Okay. So glue. And you don't need a lot of glue for this. I mean, I know we want it to stay in place, but it's not like you're going to be swinging it around. You know, the whole thing will be flat whenever you're looking through it anyway, won't it? So, you don't need oodles and oodles of glue. That's what I'm trying to say. Because the last thing you want then is it all coming shooting out of the back. There we go. Right. Oh, I like that. I like the layer. Liking it, liking it. Right, which one was next? Pink one next, I think, isn't it? Yes. The broken one. Oh, honestly, Rachel, how could you? After spending all that time covering it over so nicely, and then you go and tear the darn thing. Worst come to worst, I'll just stick another piece over the top. I'm really not going to worry about it. This is paper crafting after all said and done. And that's just the name of the game. Especially when you're working with old vintage papers. I'm annoyed I should have been more careful, but it's a learning curve. And I won't forget next time, will I? And I hope nobody here will make that mistake now. Because they'll all be like, oh, I don't want to tear my paper. Remember Rachel ripped a paper? She was silly. There we go. I love this on the back, I do. We don't ever want to see that. We will cover that over after. Well, if it goes on top of a journal, gosh, I'm saying that. I mean, this is quite big. This probably won't. I may just keep this as a standalone. I do like these little file folders. And then that one there. Glue him down. Very nice, very nice. It's better to do it in position because you know then it's all going to go, you know, it's going to fit and it's going to be where you want it to be. That I want slightly lower there, I think. I like it just down there, the last one. So, right, let's glue that one. And then let's see what we've got. Exciting bit, the big reveal. I'm covered in glue. Let me just check that now. I don't want it up. Yeah, that's fine. Here we go. All in place. Oh, that feels nice. That feels substantial now. Right, let's have a little look then, shall we? Let's check everything's working as it should be. So we have a flap here, lovely deep pocket, very nice. Same here, lovely deep pocket, very pretty. Same here, lovely deep pocket. That's a full pocket. Oh, that's the torn one. Don't look at the torn bit. I'm actually eyeing this up. I wonder if I might find a way to collage it over the top. Either I might put a bit of, oh, I'll fix it, don't worry. You won't even see it by the time I do what I'm going to do for the next bit. And then this one then, we've gone with a semi-long pocket, because my goodness, that's big enough for anyone. Of course, I could have cut on the end there, I suppose. That probably would have been better. I could have had something to pull out there. Yeah, I may take that back up actually and do that and go in that way. But don't glue, when you're putting these down over top, don't glue over there, you know, the try and cut a bit. Just glue here, okay? If you're going to use them as a pocket. If you're not going to use it as a pocket, it doesn't matter. But if you want to go in on the side and use them as a pocket, only glue that edge there. Don't be an nincompoop like me. Learn from my mistakes. But there we are. So that is step 1 of our first day on the 100-day project. And this is part 1. So this is what you need to go and get done if you're going to be crafting along, following along. Go and get some envelopes. If you don't have envelopes and you do use kits, digi-kits, don't forget that the majority of them come with envelopes. So you can use these. Let me just pick one up with my super gluey hands. I don't think I've got a kit myself personally that doesn't have an envelope in there. I love envelopes of all sorts of shapes and sizes. And the one reason why I love this one is because it's so versatile, and it would be perfect for this because you've got the flappy bits and then it can open out. So, you know, these are really useful. So if you don't have envelopes, you can use them, and that's already covered, isn't it? So that's kind of, but this is just an ideal project for you to use up envelopes. As I say, I had them sitting on the coffee table from yesterday, and I thought, oh, I've been wanting to try that. Oh, there's just something so satisfying about that, and the way it just opens up. Dup, dup, dup. Job done. Right, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek now of where this is going, okay? Here's one I made earlier, a little while earlier actually, and I love this one. I love it. So you can see what I've done here. Look, we've got, I've used ephemera then that was in the kit, and I've backed it with fabric, and we've gone with little pockets. Got bits of ephemera in there, collaged over the top. This is why I'm not too worried about that. This one, look, this is what I was saying to you earlier. I did one where I left it open on the inside, painstakingly cut around all these, but I just found them too tight to get things in and out because it's going to catch here. So hence why I put the pockets over the top then. But we've done it a different way this time, so we'll see how that goes. And if your papers that you've got are a bit short, I use a bit of fabric on that one there, and anything really just to cover up those envelopes. That one was a jaggedy edge. We've got a nice pocket in there. So you can see where we're going to be going with this, okay? And we're going to try out some different pocket styles and things like that. So get your your first part done, and then come to me with your next video with your ephemera bits that you've got left out and over. If you're working with the kits I've been working with here, the Letter Love, there'll be postcards in there. So I'm going to be using those because I haven't used mine up yet. And we will be making pockets, tucks, and then things to go inside. So I hope you will join me for the next step. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you for sticking with me if you're still here watching. And I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you very soon. Take care now. Bye.